Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Otafest Podcast, Season 5, Episode 16. You're listening to Angelo.
And you're listening to me, Nancy.
And you're hearing Jay, but you're not listening to him.
Yeah.
No one listens to Jay. But you know who you should listen to? These news and announcements.
Yes.
In case you missed it, Dara Def is coming to Otafest 2020.
Wow.
A born and raised Calgarian, partnered Twitch streamer, cosplayer, gamer, community manager for New World Interactive, Dara fell in love with cosplay in 2006 when a friend, not wanting to dress up alone, convinced her to make a witch elf from Warhammer Online. After that, she was hooked. Come see her panels and fan meet and greets at Otafest 2020.
Yeah. That's pretty solid. I mean, if someone goes, I don't know if I can I can go alone to this con, and they're like, I'll just make a whole armored cosplay. How about that?
That's such a relatable feeling. Like
That's a
not
bro
wanting,
move.
not wanting to go to the convention dressed up alone.
Yeah.
That is it's scary.
Yeah.
And so this person,
It's a bro move.
Dara,
Totes.
did a huge bro move.
Yeah.
Came through.
And now she's known for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. I'm actually super happy to have more local talent online with us, and very happy. And for anyone who doesn't know what New World Interactive is, they are a, I think, Denver-based gaming company that just started a new office up here in Calgary, and they're known for Insurgency, which is sort of like a war FPS. I've played it before. Insurgency used to be like a mod for Counter-Strike or like it was a source mod.
Okay.
And I actually used to like it.
I am terrible at war games, but I respect what New World Interactive does.
Yeah.
I have coworkers who love their games.
Yeah. So again, we're very happy to welcome Dara. What do you have for us, Nancy?
Oh, yes. Thank you and congratulations to all of our participants at the Ota Olympics at the Microsoft store at Chinook Mall. We hope everyone had a great time, and we really hope to see you all again soon.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that I missed that. I was working that day.
Aww.
I had other commitments already, but I wanted to go. We had some really cool swag. I don't know if you saw it, but we had some like Xbox button pins.
Oh.
We had some sweet swag for everybody that played. I
Nice
heard
of you.
that, well, Bayford got to go, and he said that, so one of the games played in the sports category was Rocket League.
Mhm.
And apparently, there was a player who was like a top 1% player
Oh, geez.
there.
Oh
So-
my god, he just
Way to
went
be
there
a
to noob
ringer.
stomp.
Yeah, right?
Way to go in as a ringer.
Hey, man, you're allowed to go. And I think it's,
Totes.
as much as you're like, oh, well, they stomped or whatever, but it's also good. Like, I think if you're sort of just even lower level or whatever, lower level interest, meeting someone who's like
Good at it.
top at it
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
usually,
It
it's the same
actually-
thing as meeting like your
It's a little
sports
bit
hero.
inspiring.
Yeah,
If
It is.
if they're a good person. If they're a
Right.
good person.
you're
inspiring.
meeting your sports hero, sort of same thing. Like whether you're like it's gaming or like physical sports or something like that. It's always cool to meet an idol in that regard, right? Someone who excels at what they do.
I think it's just purely it's just pure being impressed, like wow factor when
Yeah.
you see someone who's really truly good at a game.
That dude run good.
Yeah.
He run the
he
goodest.
dribbled the ball.
The best.
He balanced the ball on the car.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Nice
pretty
save.
amazing.
He can keep the game going for 45 seconds in overtime.
Christ, yeah. Like I got into Rocket League, but I could never go that crazy.
Mhm.
No, I enjoyed the game when it came out. I played it a lot. I got my money's worth.
I'll still play a little bit because it's just a fun little competitive casual. But anyways, last but not least, you can pre-purchase your single day or weekend admission at otafest.com. Weekend passes are on sale for $55, and that's $5 off of the door price. That means you can save $5 and put it to anything else you desire.
Put it to bus
Anything.
fare.
Oh, I heard the stock market
Ooh,
is crashing.
no,
You can
no.
put it towards stocks.
Okay.
Demonetized.
Okay. As attempting to be responsible adult, I tried to start.
Buy low.
I tried to start my tax return a little bit early to see
Yeah.
if I should be, before that RSP deadline and try and maybe put a little bit of extra into my RSPs. I looked at my RSP portfolio this weekend and it was devastating.
It will rebound eventually.
It will. I'm not like,
You don't lose money until you pull it
This is
out.
why you buy silver and gold ingots and then bury them
I buy Bitcoin.
in a secure location.
The most stable investment ever. Bitcoin will never drop.
That's a total lie.
It has never dropped ever.
No, in the history of Bitcoin ever, it has never. No, that's
That's
a total
why I
lie.
only invest in Dogecoin.
The
only coin that will
what's
make
a safe
you say,
investment?
wow.
Otafest.
Yep. Just come spend your money on something you actually
That you can
it's a better
quantify.
investment than
And-
Bitcoin.
That you can quantify.
that you can actually physically enjoy.
Exactly.
You spend your $55 and you just walk in. It's that easy.
It's true.
And then you go to the pre-reg.
Yeah, it's
that
true.
was a horrible joke.
Right. Speaking of sort of cons and going to them, Angela, we've talked about this before, but
I'm
Angelo
going to SacraCon.
and Dio are gonna go to SacraCon. Have you ever been?
I've never been to Sacra.
Would you go?
I would. I would at least to
Or
go
are
and
you-
like experience
Are you
it.
past your con going days?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I will quantify this.
I'm
with
past my
something.
con-going days. I'm going anyway.
Jeez.
I never even started my real con-going days. The farthest I've traveled for a con was Edmonton.
No, that's not what I like. Your con going days have nothing to
No.
do with how far you travel. Your
It's
con
when
going
you're
days are
too
just
old for
how
going.
Have
often are
gone
you
to
going?
conventions regularly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for me, working at Otafest has definitely given me a different insight on conventions.
hmm
I didn't start going to Expo until Sean started
Yeah.
inviting me to go with him. So that
Have
in
you
and of
worked?
itself was like, okay, I can go to this convention and just enjoy it.
Right.
I can just walk around like a regular attendee. I
Mhm.
can just go to a panel if I want to. Oh my God, what is this life?
Right.
I don't think I've actually done that terribly much outside of Otafest.
I would say that a general rule that I have, because we have a lot of friends who have significant others who are either not like who aren't part of the con scene, while the contacts that I know and the friends that we have are part of the con scene in terms of like organizationally. And I've always said that, like if you have an SO who, let's say it's like person A is a con runner, person B isn't, but they're together. That's fine. Obviously, you have to have different expectations that you're not going to see each other during the sort of the weekend, unfortunately, because you just have different priorities during that weekend. Like one of them wants to go cosplay and do photos, the other one's got to run the con, right? So my always rule about that thing is don't run a con, don't try to start organizing until you're tired of going to the con. And I don't mean tired in a bad way. You flip the switch from participating to organizing because you have something that you want to see. Anyways, going back to Angelo and Dio's thing. I asked him earlier whether this is like a vacation because they told me that they're not really going to go on a vacation where it's like you're just going to go to SacraCon. You're going to fly in, you can do the con, you're going to fly out. And then you're still going to have like vacation time after from like work.
Well, of course. We've got friends coming in from Vancouver. Because
Sure.
why the hell not?
Sure.
And we've already planned going to bar hopping with them,
Sure.
having some good times.
And like that's like a staycation, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to quantify that.
No, I mean at SacraCon.
Oh, at SacraCon.
At SacraCon.
Okay. So, first of all, a staycation to me is not specifically a vacation. It's a vacation in the sense that you're resting, but like it's not a vacation in the sense that you're experiencing something new without having an assigned schedule.
I have a question about
Yeah.
that. At what point do you travel to another location in the world to rest?
Well, there's always those all-inclusives.
Tropical vacations.
Oh, I see. So basically,
when you
resorts.
fly 3,000 miles to go sit in a chair on some sand.
Right.
okay, I
But-
haven't done that in a very, very long time.
So I've never done that.
Huh.
But I would also say that's a vacation.
Yeah.
My argument that is that a vacation is something like traveling to somewhere else. It doesn't have to be that far, but traveling to somewhere else. But you don't exactly have a set planned event that you're going to. You have to be like sort of, you can plan things, as in you're going to be like, we'll go to the park on Tuesday, and then we're going to go find this restaurant on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, you can do that, but it's not the same thing as being like, we're going to go to France to see the Louvre,
Oh,
and that's it.
okay. How about I'm going to wherever, like I'm going to Italy. So this wouldn't count as a vacation. I'm going to Italy for a wedding.
That's not a vacation.
Okay. I would agree with this.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that specific exclusion of what a vacation is not.
If that's all you're doing, then yeah, it's not a vacation. But if you're going to Italy and you're going to a wedding while you're there,
Yes, and that's different.
What happens? Okay, so how much time outside of the wedding activities do you need to, participate
Where's the
in
cutoff?
for it to become
Let's say 3
a
days.
vacation?
3 extra days.
3 extra days. Okay.
Because
so,
I think that's fair, right? Like that's you're not going to get a lot done in 1 day.
Nope.
2 days is still fairly short.
Plus, you lose a lot of time to travel.
Yes. So you always want to do that thing where you balance out that there's less travel than there is time being there.
Yeah. No, totally.
Right, if you
I
can.
agree.
But like the reason why this came up as well is because you mentioned that you're going to go in and you're going to do the con, which I'm not saying that you're not going to have fun and then you're going to go out, but it is going there for a specific event such as the same as a wedding or a family reunion or some kind of thing. It's not that you're not going to enjoy yourself. That's not the argument that is whether it makes a vacation or not. But I feel like there's a real element of sort of more freedom that makes the difference. Sort of like at any given moment, you could change the schedule and you wouldn't be upset about it. But in your case, you're going you're going there specifically. You're not just gonna skip out on SacraCon when you're there, and then you're gonna come
there's
back.
nothing keeping us there for half a day. If
I
I want to just take a Uber down to Valve's offices and be like, "Hey, Gabe, and let me in, let me in, let me in."
But the problem.
What's stopping me?
Yeah, because I said there should be sort of more time than that.
Okay.
It's a very time reliant thing. Because the opposite is true too, where if you stay in if you travel for vacation, quote unquote, and you go there for like 2 months, that's almost not a vacation anymore. You sort of have to just unless you just have like a lot of money, but you're sort of just getting into this repetition that you would find yourself at home where you would start doing certain things. Like you're gonna have places that you're gonna
no matter
go.
what.
Like you're gonna run out of exploration, for example.
Would you really run out of exploration?
Yes, you would, because at some point you will not start pushing yourself to go to every nook and cranny of a place.
A densely packed country with lots of interesting experiences.
Yes.
Take Japan, for example.
But you're not gonna like everything in Japan.
So I don't like everything in Canada.
Yeah, but you're not. For example, if you stayed out in Japan, after you do the touristy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which honestly would probably take you about a month, I would say, to sort of go, if you give yourself a week in sort of every major region and maybe a little bit more, so you could push it to maybe 5 weeks at the most.
That is some hardcore touristing.
Right?
Holy
that
cow.
would be exhaustingly touristic.
That's the other thing. You don't want to be tired on your vacation.
Okay, so, on that point, Angelo, do you actually have SacraCon all planned out? Do you have an itinerary? You know which panels you want to go to?
I have plane tickets and a hotel room.
So you
and SacraCon tickets.
Okay. So you haven't gone and exhaustively planned out
Good fucking
where you're
God,
gonna be.
no. Why would I do that?
I don't know. Some people are like that.
Yeah,
I'm not like that.
I mean, I would probably choose some items of interest and be like, I'll go there.
The last vacation that I had was like that.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't a vacation.
It didn't feel restful,
I considered
probably.
it a vacation.
Was it?
I was too hungover to be rested.
Were you the one who did all the planning?
Hell fucking no. I
then
hadn't to do
Where'd you
exactly.
go? Where'd you go?
So this was in November of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I won a contest at the Source for the top 50 salespeople in the company.
Ooh.
Got to go on a 4-day, 4-night trip to Florida, to Miami.
Together?
Okay.
Yes.
That doesn't
That's
sound
awkward.
restful.
So the only actual work-related things we had to do was one party with unlimited free alcohol, where you just had to rub elbows with the higher ups in the company.
Right.
One presentation for the Nexus Prime, the launch for that thing. That was back in 2011. What was it actually called? The Samsung Galaxy Nexus. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then beyond that, there were pre-planned events. There was a catamaran tour, and there was a Miami Dolphins game.
Wow.
And there was going to a nightclub, and fuck that thing.
So that's
sucked.
really running the borderline for what a vacation is to me, because I don't.
It was relaxing enough because I didn't have to talk to anybody I knew.
Sure, I would.
Ow, I know how Angelo feels about me now.
Yeah, right. I just think that that runs a fine line because it does sound like fun and it's a new experience, but you're under the constant. There's a stress of like doing it with coworkers, even if it's coworkers you don't know because they're from a different country.
I never
because
met any of those guys ever again.
Because the stress comes from you're still sort of being monitored.
Yeah.
Like you can't just go balls to the wall
It's
now.
still
Oh,
a work
right.
event.
Right.
I could have gotten twice as drunk as I did every night, and I still would have been one of the more tame ones.
I still like
The
here's the other
Quebecois
thing.
salesmen were crazy.
So
Wow.
it's March now, obviously, but we just passed like the holidays and everyone has holiday work parties. I do not consider holiday work parties to be real parties
Oh no,
No.
because
good
you
God, no.
cannot
No.
you should not rather
Let loose.
let loose.
No.
People do let loose. I do not advise it. Like I'm not someone who does that,
certainly
but I
do
cannot
not
respect
advise it.
someone who does either because you have to be way smarter than that.
Oh yeah.
It's just not smart.
I certainly agree.
Right? And for that exact reason is why I would almost not consider that trip a vacation, but it was a fun experience, I hope.
It was very good.
So that
Yeah.
I
like
wouldn't
I can give
consider
you
it a
that,
vacation either.
right?
No.
Vacations have to be like there's a certain level of untetheredness to
No,
it.
there's also a certain level of self-fulfillment. It has to be something you want to do and something that you find enriching.
We
Right.
got to go on airboats, and I got to hold a baby alligator, and then I got to eat some alligator.
What?
Was it the same alligator?
No.
I'm very disappointed.
Well, that feels like an incomplete experience.
What?
I've had-
I ate alligator.
Have you ever
What's
had
wrong with
alligator?
that?
Yeah, it tastes kind of like chicken.
It's actually pretty
fishy
good.
chicken.
No,
I would or stringy chicken.
it definitely wasn't stringy, but the way that it was prepared for me, it was
well,
like
I mean, you had fresh babies, so
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like
clearly. It's like the
chopped up
veal
into like
of
little
the alligator.
nuggets, deep fried, and with like a great Louisiana sauce. It was
Sure.
oh,
I've
it
also
was
had
really
that.
tasty.
in that same vein, I don't really like frog legs.
I would never get frog legs.
I almost said chicken legs, but
Okay.
I meant frog legs.
Funny, super weird side tangent. A friend of mine recently brought up the fact that leap year doesn't seem to have any food traditions associated with it, so we should make some. And my very first thought was, I guess we're eating frog's legs, and I have no idea how to prepare those. And she goes, oh. No, we should not do that.
I'd rather have crickets.
Crickets.
I don't mind
Just
crickets.
some like sautéed crickets.
I don't mind crickets. You can get them
Deep fried crickets.
You can get them from Telus Spark.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess they're really getting behind that
Like
whole insect
human
protein
food
thing.
grade crickets?
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
How are they prepared? Like, are
Wait,
they
like
I think
baked?
they're
they
just fried.
prepare them
Baked
for
or
you.
fried. Yeah,
They-
yeah.
okay.
It's a pre.
Okay,
like,
I
you get a
was-
bag. Like
For
you're
whatever
gonna go.
reason, I thought you could just go there. It's like, yes, one bag of crickets, please.
no. It's like picking a lobster. They have a tank of them.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah. And
that
what's
one-
that one?
that one
one's
looks extra
spicy.
lively, right?
Oh, that one looks like he's really giving the other ones
That'd
a
be
run for
fun.
its money.
You see that one? That
Right.
one with a little smile on its face? Let's wipe that smile off its face.
Oh, god damn it.
Maybe that's what it's into. You
Once I
don't know.
saw a
Maybe
shiny
it's a
lobster
devore.
in a tank,
I don't know.
Oh.
all the other ones were like that deep red.
Yeah,
but
you
this
got a
one was like
bluish gray or
no,
whatever.
it was a bright orange.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gone off.
I actually took a picture of it and posted it to Facebook. It was like 6 years ago.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I found a real life shiny.
Oh my god.
You know what? In that case. I want to talk about food.
Let's talk about food.
Yeah.
What did you want to talk about?
Okay, there's something that gets brought up to me a lot.
Uh-huh.
People who are my friends know that I
Uh-huh.
like food.
Yes.
I like preparing food. I watch like cooking shows on YouTube, or like little small documentaries and things like that.
Mhm.
But I also just like eating food,
Can't
not just
blame.
making it.
Yep.
But there are people who don't love eating food. There are people who see it as like sort of a rote activity.
Well, there are some
so
people
they,
who
like-
are just like, it's refueling.
Yes,
I
and
have dated someone like this.
and it's disappointing, right?
Oh, totally.
Like I'm okay with dating or seeing somebody who is picky, but they're still gonna like they don't see eating food as just a chore. But I do have a problem with sort of like, yeah, it's just a chore, so I'll eat the same thing day to day or like be very bland in my general food choices. But anyway, people have always told me that because whenever the topic of food comes up, I express interest in it. You do the thing where you're kind of your eyes light up, and then
You get really excited.
yeah, like and you
Get really
and you tell people
animated.
about you tell people sort of about the qualities of the things that you like.
Yep,
right?
totally. As,
and then
as
people-
a fellow foodie, lover
Yeah.
of food, I definitely do that too.
So do you ever get people who tell you that you should do the thing that you like as a career.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't, because I do not agree with that idea at all.
No, because if you do it as a career, it kind of takes some of that joy out of it because it's no longer something you do for fun or self-enjoyment. It's now something that you have to do to get paid.
I've talked about this in relation to streaming.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people are like, I like playing games. Let's see if I can do it. Like I've had people casually say, I'll do it. I'll try and do it like professionally one day. Like I'm going to try and stream one day. I'm like, buddy, I know streamers who are professional. I know how many hours they put in just to start.
A lot.
And the fact that they can make money now is only a reflection of how much money they had to put in, or how much time and effort they had to put in
and
before.
Money. Yeah.
And money.
And
yes.
money too. Like
I
these
was
aren't
watching...
things you can just get into with like a terrible little PC.
Right.
Yesterday, I started watching a streamer at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a guy I just regularly watch streaming.
Uh-huh.
He does it to make up rent because he lives in Vancouver.
Oh, poor guy.
He didn't stop until 4 p.m. today.
What?
Yeah.
How does he... What?
Around 8 a.m., he was
It's a
begging
side
for
hustle,
death.
man. Yeah.
He was like,
it's a side
why am
hustle.
I awake so long? All I want is the achievement for 24 hours solid stream.
And you told me
This
that,
isn't worth
and he was
it.
like that at 8 a.m.
Yes.
So he went for another 8 hours
Yes.
after that before he stopped. That's crazy.
I could do that
Completely
for charity,
insane.
I guess.
Yeah, we do it for charity.
But he did do it.
Charity is different.
I could do
Charity's
that
a
for
wonderful
charity.
girl. And she
Charity's
deserves all the
the sweetest thing
money
ever.
that we throw at her.
Yeah, we really do.
Right?
Throw lots of money at her.
Right. But on the topic of food, I wanted to bring up two other things. Places that we like in Calgary.
Mm.
Because there's been a couple of new places that popped up recently that I've heard good things about.
Mm.
These are not official sponsors, but hey, good food is good food. One of them is Kim's Katsu.
Okay.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of it.
I
Haven't heard of it.
They are rather spectacular.
Kim's Katsu is, I think it's a Korean sort of katsu dinner place. Maybe they probably do lunch too.
Okay.
They do.
You know, so we're talking pork and chicken cutlets, I'm sure, maybe
Yep.
beef. I
All
don't
the
know.
deep fried stuff.
I haven't been there yet.
Me neither.
So I just
But
go there and I ask Kim for his katsu, right?
I think that is pretty much the gist.
then I
Except,
leave
however,
happy.
Kim is, first of all, Kim is not just a male name. It can be Kimberly. Second of all, Kim is also a family name in Korea.
Yes.
You can be Kim if you have Kim. If you're like Kimberly Kim.
It does
So
happen.
I don't know if you'll be
Yes.
asking Kim for his katsu
That's like
specifically.
saying I'm going to go to Burger King and ask for the king himself to serve me.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Gentlemen at the counter, I wish to speak to the king.
Yeah.
I have important
pleases.
request.
Yeah. I have a boon to ask of the court.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Oh,
Kim's
dude, you should
Katsu.
totally do that. You should totally do. There's a skit there. I'm telling you right now. It's literally you
Oh.
go to a Burger
Excuse
King.
me, young man.
Yeah.
I have very important business and I need to speak to the king immediately.
Yeah.
I need 1 liter of cola.
I require. No, I require.
I require a liter of cola.
If it pleases the court, I have brought items to trade, precious metals, and
I
and
understand
imagery
if this
of
cannot be done post haste. I have brought my gesture for entertainment. value.
imagery of foreign
monarch.
foreign state of head of state rather. Imagery of foreign head of state on this tiny
the
paper.
foreign state of a head.
This
Yeah.
not quite paper. This plastic posing as paper.
Yes.
Yes.
I know not this wizardry of this material,
So
but
tell me more about Kim's Katsu.
it looks pretty cool. I want to go. That's all it really comes down to.
I will
Sweet.
go with you.
Yeah, and my axe.
And your
Right.
and my bow
Yeah, and my belly, and my appetite.
and my chopsticks.
Right.
Yep.
There's also there's a bunch of like Italian places that I wanted to go to that are like they're not new. None of them are new.
So I've been on such a like Asian kick for the last few years that I haven't gone out for Italian unless other people have asked me to go out for Italian.
Yes.
And like that's how you know that it's not something that I usually go out of my way to go get to. But I did find a really good one. It's on 16th Ave and it is called
16th Ave Northwest.
Yeah. It's actually really close to Gogi.
It's close to
Let me see if I can
gogi.
find it.
All right. Well, while you're looking that up, the problem with Italian food,
Okay.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's hard to do wrong.
It's hard to do wrong,
Yeah.
and it's easy to justify making it yourself at home.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that it's going to be as good. I will absolutely put it there, but it's hard. I can absolutely agree with where you're coming from, from why you may or may not go for it, because whether like you would have to have a reason to sort of just go out for Italian food, because a lot of the time it probably feels like you could make it at home. Maybe it's a lesser version, but as long as you like it.
I almost never get
It's
pasta at a
qualified.
restaurant.
Yeah.
By
That's
the way,
basically it.
By the way, it's called
My
La
name's
Vienna.
Angelo, and I make pasta at home.
What's it called?
La Vienna.
I know where that is. They have like a steak sandwich special. I remember.
Yeah.
I used to live
you
near
went
there.
to an
Remember?
Italian place for a steak sandwich?
No, I've never been there.
Oh.
I used to live near there.
Speaking
remember?
of Italian
so I
food
would
at
see the
home,
sign.
yes, last week on a whim,
Yeah.
I bought some Anaheim peppers, and I was like, I have no idea what these are, except that they're peppers. I'm
Please
gonna
don't
put them
tell
in a
me
pasta
you let
sauce.
them go to waste.
No, they were fantastic.
Oh,
I'd never had them before, and I put them in pasta sauce, and they added like this little smoky kick at the end, and it was
Yo,
fantastic.
my favorite pepper
Did
is
you-
Serrano peppers.
Serrano? Yeah,
Serranos
are good.
are amazing.
Did you at least use like gloves while preparing it and all that good
Why the
stuff?
fuck would I use gloves on Anaheim's?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're
what they
500
are.
Scoville.
I can't tell if
Yeah,
that's
they're
spicy
flavored.
or not.
No, they're flavored.
They're flavored.
A jalapeno is at
I-
like 1 to 3,000.
I don't think I
okay.
ever had a pepper with that kind of flavor to it,
Huh.
and it was great. It was like, why have I not known about this before?
I would love to try this now.
Right.
And like, if you just eat it raw,
Mhm.
it doesn't taste that. It tastes just like a spicy bell pepper, except
I need
mildly
to remind
spicy
you, I
bell
can't
pepper.
have bell peppers.
wait, what?
I can't have
She's
bell
allergic
peppers.
to bell peppers.
You're allergic to bell
I'm
peppers?
horribly allergic to bell
What
peppers.
the fuck? Yeah,
But
don't
I
have
can
Anaheim
still
peppers.
have, but
That
I
sucks
can
because
still
it-
have chili peppers.
You can't have like salsa.
That's true. I can't. I have
That's
to make
too
my
bad.
own.
Salsa's great.
How does
Mhm.
that work?
I will say back to the jalapeno thing. Jalapenos are scum peppers. They're. I don't think there's
They're
any value in them.
everywhere. They're everywhere.
They're not particularly tasty. They are like they have spice. That's fine,
They
but you
have
can
a
get
flavor.
but you can get spice. You can get better flavor and the same amount of spice from banana peppers.
Mm.
I counter you. Cut a jalapeno in half. Shove it full of cream cheese.
Oh well.
But I
Bread
can
it
do that with a
and
but
fry
I
it.
can do that with a banana pepper.
You can also do that with a banana.
No, actually, hold on. Has anyone attempted to do this with a banana peel? Just like empty out an entire banana peel somehow, leaving it totally whole and stuffing it full of green
First
cheese.
of all, no. Second of all, to Angelo, no.
No!
Third of all, I am right. You are wrong.
Wow, this is how we end arguments here.
Yeah.
Okay then.
There's
Jay's
nothing.
a dictator.
How it really comes about is that I don't really feel like there's anything particularly good about a jalapeno that you couldn't do with a bell pepper
Oh,
or
almost-
with a
With
banana
any
pepper.
other pepper.
that doesn't have a better flavor
Oh, you're right.
or like a similar spice level. But I think jalapenos just tend to be sort of acidic and crap.
It is clear to me that you both have very, very nuanced opinions on spicy peppers.
They're just better stuff. Every ingredient has its place. Like some people really hate green bell peppers, for example, because they're technically just unripe red and yellow.
My
peppers.
opinion on that
Basically.
is I choose between green bell peppers and red bell peppers, depending on the rest of the color of the dish, to add visual interest.
Color is an important part of the dish, but green bell peppers are
They
bitter.
taste different.
They're
Oh,
bitter.
they are. They're more bitter than red.
And they're
ones.
not. But if your dish needs bitterness, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong about having it. However, there are people who are like vehemently against it just because they exist. I'm sort of feeling that way about jalapenos, but that's because I do honestly just believe that there's not much that a jalapeno can offer versus other peppers in the same range.
In my
Personally-
case, Dio's
now
a
you
baby
know-
with spicy food,
Yeah,
and
so
a
now you have
jalapeno's
Anaheim
about
peppers.
the hottest she can deal with.
Right.
Mm,
But now you have Anaheim peppers.
yeah.
Anaheim
apparently.
peppers are about like an eighth of the
Yeah,
spiciness. of
but
jalapeno.
they're tasty.
Oh, the taste is fantastic.
And I think that alone sort of
Makes up for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
outpaces a jalapeno. You were gonna say something.
I was gonna say something. So, speaking of restaurants that are maybe not as well known in Calgary,
Mhm.
we're doing that food and drink experience for the next 2 weeks.
Is that related to the same thing as like the white table thing that they do?
It used to be called Big Taste. and then that got shut down.
Baked
This is its
Yes,
little
okay, I know
successor
Baked Taste.
program. So food and experience, or food and drink experience in Calgary.
Right.
So a whole bunch of fairly high-end restaurants have come together, and just they're doing a fixed price, fixed menu.
Yeah.
So one of my most recent favorites, Nupo, came up, and I was like, I'm totally gonna do this. And then I looked, and they were completely out of reservations, and I was horribly heartbroken for like the space of 15 hours.
On the sort of opposite vein of like restaurants, 2 of my favorite restaurants have closed down in the last 5 years.
Wow.
In the last 3 years.
Wow.
Shikiji
Shikiji,
closed.
yeah, that very recently happened.
And that's really disappointing. They had
Super.
really great
Ramen.
food,
Oh.
period.
Oh, their ramen was
Like their
so good.
sushi and everything was good too. Their takoyaki
Mm.
was good. Their not just the ramen, but their noodle dishes that like they had actually like cold soba and everything like that as well.
I also have nostalgia associated with them because I've been going to them for so long.
They're amazing. And then basically, I don't know what their business was, how their business was doing specifically, but basically what shut them down was a water main broke and it just damaged the restaurant. And they were like, we can't do it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a big bummer, right?
That's no fault of their own.
Right,
Yeah.
and I feel like if they really wanted to, that they could probably have set up like some kind of GoFundMe, and people probably would have paid in for it.
Oh,
But maybe
yeah.
they didn't want to do it, and again, I don't know what the state of their plans were anyway. So maybe they were going to
Maybe
retire
they were
in
just
5 years.
looking for a reason.
They were going to retire in 5 years, maybe, like for all I
Yeah.
know, right? So I totally get that. My other
Is-
favorite one was Tango Bistro.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they closed down like 2 years ago at least.
No.
Yeah,
Has
they
it
were
been
great.
That long?
They had those great
They
oyster
did.
shots. They had amazing steak and just amazing surf and turf options, honestly.
Holy, I had no.
So that
oh
makes
my
me
God.
real upset. Anytime that I have like restaurants that I love close down, I get like pissed because the reason why I like them is because they have to be unique in some way. They must offer something that's not just like in the general range of what they're sort of
By rote.
yeah.
You know, like their standard offerings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were all sort of special in their way, and now that 2 of them are gone, I'm like, well, crap. I hope I find something else because I don't know if that exists. Another one, The Rock or something like that. I think it was called The Rock or something like that. It used to be on 17th, just down this way, and they closed down. They were like a small place, but they had some really creative like fusion between like Eastern Western. They'd have like ribeye poutine, for
Huh.
example. And that sounds sort of like janky a little bit, but they carry it out really well.
Sounds tasty.
So they're gone. I'm sure Tracy's upset about that one too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
But the other thing is with food, and I brought this up with friends, but I don't know if I've said this on the podcast. I know it sounds snobby, don't get me wrong, but I don't like average food.
This man prefers a shitty restaurant experience to an unmemorable one.
Yes. I like you already know what a good or like, the best restaurant experience might be. That's the fun part. Average makes you complacent about it. And then that means you'll forget how you or how you felt about it, and then you'll just go back and you'll just be mediocrely disappointed again. Whereas if you have a shit experience, you'll know it was shit. The food was shit, the service was shit, the cook was shit. Like, sorry, but it's just maybe you're not shit all the time, but that's how it was when I got there. I know that I will never go there again. Easy.
Yeah.
But
And
if it's average, I might fall into that trap again. Case in point, McDonald's, but not just McDonald's. Not just McDonald's. So sometimes the only time I really go to McDonald's anymore is for like small snack stuff or breakfast.
I don't even go to McDonald's. I can't
Smart
remember
girl.
the last time I went.
Dio likes Big Macs.
One of the things I really like in general, not from McDonald's, I like breakfast wraps. They're one of my
Okay.
preferred breakfast foods.
Okay.
McDonald's, your breakfast wraps
Oh,
are
no.
ass.
Oh no. There's a
But they're
story.
very plain ass.
Yeah.
So when I
The
go,
lowest common denominator
I
of
will-
breakfast
yeah,
wrap.
I will literally go there, be like, what do I want for breakfast? Because it's like 6 a.m. How many options do I have, right? I go there, I'm like, what could I go for? You know what I always like? I like breakfast wraps. I see it, I'm like, but now I've had it like 3 times, so it took me that long to learn because how average it is, and
the
now I will
McMuffins
not
are
have
the
it.
only thing worth it. Like, give me a sausage and egg McMuffin and I'm happy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The hash browns are fine.
Hash browns?
Also,
Yeah,
no,
hash browns are okay.
because hash browns don't taste the same as they used to. I don't know what they've changed, but they do not taste like the hash browns I used to love.
You're not wrong.
I've never been in love with them.
I
And
used
that's
to
why I
love
think
them.
they're fine.
I used to love them in junior high school. I used to love their hash browns, specifically theirs. Not Timmy's, not the ones from A&W.
Okay, but Timmy's hash browns have legitimately always been garbage.
Okay, fair.
Timmy's?
Yes.
Yeah,
Fair
because
point.
they bake theirs.
Sure.
They're not fried, and that makes a difference. Like the texture is just far off.
Anyway, whatever it is that McDonald's has done to their hash browns since
Now
I was
that I
a
think about it,
teenager, just awful.
Yeah.
McDonald's hash browns are the only ones I've ever had that consistently stay together.
What?
I like
Like,
A&W's.
Almost every time I've gotten a hash brown from another place, they'll be falling apart as I eat them.
Can I interject here?
Sure.
I know we're talking about fast food
Yeah.
hash browns, but diner hash browns, and I'm not talking about home potatoes.
You're not
which are
talking about
like
home fries where it's the
home
large
fries,
chunks.
sorry,
You're
yeah,
talking about like the small little actual hash browns.
Yeah, like
or
when you're
talking about the
actually
shredded hash browns.
shredded hash browns.
Ooh,
Okay,
I love
Those are the best
Yes.
form of hash brown
Yes.
because what you can do is you can fry some onion, you get some seasoning salt. If you think that fast food hash browns and those are the only ones you've ever had, you think those are real hash browns. That's
Good
because you've
God,
never had real hash browns.
That
That
golden
stuff-
brown hockey puck of just
Oh.
crunch that McDonald's sells, it's acceptable.
for
No.
what
Real.
It's not acceptable.
Well,
It's
if you're just
no.
if you need
If you just
an
want a wedge of
on-the-go
potato,
hash- yeah.
but it's not acceptable if
But
you're
if
talking
you want,
about
like,
hash
actual
browns.
if you're a person who's just had like homemade hash browns or like proper restaurant breakfast place hash browns, and then you went to McDonald's and they gave you that little puck, you'd be like, "The fuck is this?" What the...
I didn't ask for a cross section of potato.
Yeah,
Right?
Okay, so back to the original point.
Right.
Jay, do you feel like this would ruin your love of and appreciation in general of food if
If
you
it
were a
became
food critic for a job?
A career.
I wouldn't want to be a food critic because I don't really want to shit on food either. I don't necessarily, first of all, you have to be understanding that you are subjective. You're always going to be subjective about food. There is food I do not like. I will never like it. You can give me the best salmon salad sandwich or tuna salad sandwich in the world, and I will take a bite because I respect food. I will not like it. It's almost guaranteed. So I'm not willing to be a food critic. I'm not willing to be a cook or a chef. Back to that original point about working in your passions, because I do believe it takes away from it. I also know that it's not an easy life. I'm not looking for an easy life specifically, but I don't.
For your chosen career path.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, no.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
But that's not something I'm guilty of anyways. But in being a chef, knowing the hours that you put in and sort of the monotony of the crap that you have to go through, I wouldn't do it.
I feel like being a chef would be the same bullshit every night.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, you just get worn down by that.
Yeah.
And then
it would
but from a
grind down on
passion
you.
point, that would really suck.
Oh yeah, my brother-in-law, we didn't like him anyway, but he was a chef. And I don't know how much of his unlikable personality was because of he was a chef,
But
or how much he just came by it honestly.
Wow.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But he was a chef and he was a miserable person.
Oh, wow. That's probably
That's
two
pretty
things
funny.
we can separate.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
No.
I've known some, very
I'm sure it's possible for a chef
Renowned.
to be a good person.
I've known some very renowned chefs, and they are, I know some good people. I'm sure not all
They're not
chefs
mutually
are like
exclusive
that.
things, yeah.
No. I don't know. Angela, would you want to watch anime for a job?
Would you want to be an anime critic?
I
Would
totally
you-
would. If I could make a living out of it.
Well,
hell
you did run a
yes.
blog for a while, didn't you?
Yeah,
I tried. That was more for just the sake of making and updating blog software more than
Oh.
blogging about anime.
But you did have, but I do recall it.
Yes, I did.
I'll be honest, I never read it because
Of course, why would you?
Yeah, why would I? It's not like because it's you. It's because I wouldn't read anybody.
Like, I keep a backup of that database. I could get that back up and running, like, in an afternoon if I wanted.
Yeah.
Huh.
But, yeah.
But if you're seriously being paid for it, do you think you would?
If, like, I made myself into, like, an AnyTuber or something, I'd have to learn how to edit video. I'd finally have to wrap my brain around that. But if I could do it, sure, why not?
That makes one of us
Like,
for sure.
most of my hobbies, any given one, I could easily turn into a career, as long as I didn't turn all of them into a career.
No,
Mm.
things
Like
that
right
I
now-
love, I would not turn into careers.
My love and passion for computers is my career. I'm happy with that, and I don't hate computers anymore because of it.
But you're not.
If
You're
I
not
became-
actually. I would argue that you're not really in that specific field. You're in a related field.
my work computer use is very different from my home computer use, and this all today I was cursing my ass out at Excel because fuck Excel,
Sure.
Okay.
and I would never touch Excel in my free time.
Sure. Fair. But I mean, I don't write software in my free time.
I write software in my free time.
I do not.
Yeah.
I do that
Like-
as my full-time job.
Yeah, I
I
feel
do
like
voice acting as a side job for a reason.
side hustle.
Side
like-
hustle for a reason.
But again, passions and hobbies and interests are all different things that could lead to a career,
sure.
but you still have to have the right mindset understanding what you're about to approach.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, I always have other hobbies that I can relax with.
Right.
So if only one of my hobbies was my main career, I don't think it would be a problem for me.
That's totally fair.
Of course, it would be certain ones.
Yeah.
Like,
Fair.
yeah.
Fair.
I think we're gonna end this episode, but it was pretty good. Thanks for coming along on this one, and I hope you guys check out Dara Def. I hope you guys check us out soon at Calgary Expo as well, because that's coming up in about a month, I want to say.
Yep.
I hope you save $5 off the door price.
Exactly.
And if you guys have any thoughts about having a
Anything
hobby
ever.
as a career or some
Tell us
favorite
about your hobbies.
Right.
cooking
Tell us about your
places,
food.
Some food.
Tell us how you've just deep-throated an Anaheim pepper.
Wow.
Thanks.
Please tell us about it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's
Don't
not
choke on a
recommended.
pepper.
It's not recommended.
That's not the recommended method of
Intake.
partaking in peppers.
No. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
See you next time.